Hello and welcome into the Sorare Data Show. I am Andrew Laird. You can find me as Lairdinho on Sorare, joined today by the original collection time only gentlemen, GatorGuy231 and NepentheZ. There they are. Gentlemen, we are back. First in is this guy, NepentheZ Sorare, apparently, saying so. Sorare Seagull, DGen collection chat. My favorite time of the week. Guys, we have moved collections from DGen to Sharp.
Yeah. Damn right.
I don't want to be this guy, but I kind of want to be this guy. I did say it. I did call it. I said collections were going to be the future of Sorare, and yet here we are.
So I will give you full credit for this.
Thank you very much.
And this is going to be 2 days in a row that at least I'm apologizing, because I remember hearing you say this and I'd be like, this guy's an idiot. Nobody's going to care about collections. These aren't going to do anything. And you're like, collections are it. And I'm like, why is he making such a... And here we are.
Hold on. Can we also just say, like, shout out to Nep too for his limited collection finally coming through. And hold on. Actually, I'm gonna backhand compliment you here real quick, Nep. For Nep finally playing his good collection correctly.
Yeah.
And winning. But second place in Prem?
No, I got first.
You did? Oh, you got opted?
I got opted up.
Yes.
But do you know what's crazy? I should have come second because Trossard had a big chance missed, clear as day, and it just didn't get accredited to him. But like he had one accredited to him, and then he had another one that was clear as day, big chance missed. And if he got that given to him as he rightfully should have done, I would have been second.
Did you make sure to contact Sorare to see if they would tell Opta that they should fix that?
No, I blocked.
He did the same thing I did with Armani, saving that PK. He's just like, I ain't saying shit.
Yeah.
Also, I'm glad you got first, but I kind of liked the other story for the sake of the show that you would have gotten first if you had a Gabrielle that was in. Like, I kind of feel like CTO wants you to get second, like for the sake of the show. But I'm really happy you got first. Congrats, dude.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Because now I can I've got that I should get a special badge actually, hopefully on Sorare for winning the inaugural in-season Premier League competition.
Yeah, I'm sure
that's got to be worth something, right? It's got to be worth something more than the prize that I got for actually winning it, right?
Thanks everyone for joining. Let's see, 93 Acres and Jack Jarvis were also on the podium. SR Monkey says they're alive. Good show though. See you next week. What's next week? Someone on their show? Or just he's not coming back? Brazil, Mike Baston, Kev Hurd, Sora Holland. What's up, everyone? Nep, are full collections still worth it?
They've never been more worth it than they are right now. They are the most single worth it they have ever been.
I love the way that you said that. They're single most worth it than they've ever been.
Yeah.
Pablo said he just finished your rewards video. Nep, how does it feel just winning a bunch of cash instead of a shiny new?
It is the greatest, genuinely the greatest.
Ooh,
because I won Donnarumma, right? Spoiler if you didn't see that, and I was a little bit dejected because I really wanted a Premier League in-season card because that's the route I'm going down. And Trent was there, although maybe there's an injury or something with Trent because Josh said that I must be happy that I didn't pick up Trent Rare last night. One got sniped for quite cheap on new season, but I could have got Allison new season, Edison new season, Haaland new season, Trent new season. There's so many cards that I'm like, yeah, I actually could really have actually used them. And in the end, I just traded Donnarumma for Edison new season with a little bit of cash. But the cash that I won, I wouldn't say I went on a spree, but I bought De Bruyne a new season. I'm going to get Ruben Diaz new season, and I'm going to try and get Erling.
No.
Yeah.
I forbid you. No.
He's on auction right now. So I've got cash in the bank, Keith. I'm going for him.
No, that's just
anyone else. By anyone else.
That's literally wiping yourself with cash.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. And then I'm going to try and get old season Haaland. And I had a bit of a chat with one guy that's selling old season Haaland now, and he's trying to sell him at new season price. And I added him on Discord, and I was like, what do you want for Haaland? He's like, yeah, listed price. I'm like, you realize that's the new season card price? And he sold his gallery 6 months ago, and this is the only card he's got left. And so he doesn't comprehend what the new season stuff means. So he's just like, yeah, but his price is going up. I'm like, yeah, but that's his new season price is going up. His old season price is staying the same.
This isn't going anywhere. So
yeah,
did I not hear Rodrigo?
Like I've got De Bruyne and Foden already new season. So that's two mids already.
They're both worse than Rodri.
Yeah, but they're not, are they? Foden just hit 100. He's in my under 23 lineup this week. De Bruyne hit a 91.
Laird, does Nep get credit for that 100?
That already happened.
I do get credit
for
that
100 in your lineup already.
Yeah, literally.
Oh, it was. Oh, they retroactively put it in there. Okay, never my fault. I didn't know that. Must have been something with your coins that you were able to.
No, look at my lineups now. Go to my under 23 lineup. You see that 100 points, and he's captain as well.
Always. So you just actually said the reason. Like, you go play Foden in U23, get yourself a Rodri.
Yeah, but I need more cash for that.
Well, no, not if you stop wasting it. Or actually, here's the reality. Save the fucking Ruben Diaz shitstorm.
What's wrong with Ruben Diaz?
Keith and I both have one. You don't want it.
Worst.
It's the worst card in the entire team.
You know, hey Laird, we were just talking about center. Who's a better center back than Diaz on the same team?
Nathan
Ake. Yeah, and do you know what? Ake is like £100 for new season, and I'm like, I really want to buy it. But the reason why I don't want to buy it is because it was £60 like 3 days ago.
Yeah, 2 days ago, yeah. I was yelling at someone today, not because of what they did, but there was a card that I'm looking to buy, and I'm not going to say who it is, but it sold for $40 yesterday, $40 19 hours ago, and somebody bought the same card for $69 today. And it's like, why would you pay $69 for a card that literally just sold for $44? Anyway.
So, hold on, are we back?
I think Nathan Ake has actually been sold the one at £100. I'll be disappointed.
Oh, no.
I think we're back, yeah.
Let's
Nep, how convenient that you won Donnarumma and I won Keylor Navas.
Yeah, that is convenient.
Do you know what's funny? I think I would rather have Keylor Navas.
Oh, I'm psyched. Mine was a tier 5. I didn't have to win for that.
Navas is the starting goalkeeper, according to the last game. So
that's right. He started 100% of the last 1 games. Anyway. Dream Oblivion says only in-season collections are valuable. No, I don't see how the old ones are worth it. Nep, preach.
Right, let me explain it.
Two cold takes.
Here you go. First things first, you need a new season collection with 5% collection bonus. Then you get like whopping point bonus. You can run 3 lineups. You're going to have an old season as well. And especially when the new Premier League cards come out for next season, you're going to have the second old season. So you could effectively have 3 full 5% collection bonuses for Arsenal. So you can use David Raya 5% collection bonus from 3, old season. David Raya, again, old season. And then David Raya, new season. And that's your 3 goalkeepers on maximum points. That means that you can't use an old season card in one of those 2 lineups. But that's okay because each team has 11 or 10 outfield players. So you could just use all new seasons in the rest of them. And in that first lineup where you've got new season David Raya, you can use like old season Bukayo Saka.
Right, and they're both.
So you could effectively run like maximum efficient lineups because you've got 3 collection bonuses across 3 seasons.
That's not justifying current old collections, though. That's just making your new collection into an old one.
But I think the ones now and last season have value because you've got 5% collection bonus and XP bonus on those cards.
Okay.
You're going to have a massive head above people that buy new season cards.
Gotcha.
Well, I would actually argue too that in the old season comps, you're going to run into a lot more cards that have really, really terrible XP that have gotten moved a ton that people aren't collecting, that they're just putting stuff together. And so if we lose our 5% in season bonus, but you're running, let's say, a level 18 Bukayo Saka with a 4% collection bonus. Now you're sitting there at what, 13% versus you could run into somebody else with the 5.
Yeah.
So that the 8% is a pretty big deal as we see how congested these leaderboards get. So I think collections, honestly, are even more important in old season now because you're really going to get a conglomeration of cards in there. Like we talked about yesterday with Mike, I'm still coming to grips with like realizing how many lineups like and how many really good cards are going to be in old season stuff. That I think that separation that collection can get, it could be really huge, especially on the top end cards.
Sora Cumry said, can we at least recognize that some of us collect cards for collecting's sake and not for SO5? I'm not ignored, but we do exist. We are recognizing you now, and we will never speak of it again.
See what Agent Cooper says. Only flaw in that plan is new season rival will cost you about $5,000. First of all, he won't be that expensive, right? But second of all,
he's way too shitty for that.
Old season cards win the new season cards. So if they're well expensive, even more reason to have old season collections.
Johnny said, hearing Keith say that about old collections, I just went and bought a level 20 Van Dyke of an old LFs.
Hey, Channy, I swear you used to have an old Liverpool Van Dyke. Oh, yeah, that's right. I bought it.
Hey, you also could flex, finally your Brunetta buy off of me.
Yeah, that got me a 7th place, which actually won me Vrioni, which is great because now I've got synergy with Hill.
He's a great revs. Hey, you know what's great? He's a good cap mode card.
Yeah, he will be good for special weeklies. Yeah.
I see what he did there. Mike says, so when you said before, Nep, that you didn't think you'd get your investment back, how did this win?
Oh, it's too early for the beers.
Mike finished a drink right there.
Yeah.
Hold
on. How did this win
People
affect that? There we go. I think that was supposed to be this win, not this win. How did this win affect the fact that you didn't think you'd get your investment back on that Arsenal collection?
Well, it's not the win. It is the win, but it's not the win. It's the change that's happened as to why it makes sense more now, right? Because the last time we spoke, Laird, I was dejected about Sorare, and that's just the truth. I wasn't in a great place with it. I didn't see any potential getting it back.
Yeah, and now you're on team. Let's fucking go.
Yeah, and like I was messaging you guys like in the Discord. I'm like something's in the water. Like, and I don't want to get burnt again. I don't want to be like bullish to the point where I'm like crazy and end up making mistakes like buying Lewandowski at top dot and some. But like I now can like the fact that you can win $1,500 every single week in multiple competitions at limited level gives me that hope that my skill and nuance of the game will yield massive cash returns. And that's what I believe. Like somebody's got to be good at the game, haven't they? So why not me?
I do love that. So
Sorry, I just wanted to check on this. Sora Melto said, correct me if I'm wrong, but doesn't collection bonus only apply to one card within a season? If you have 3 new season Sakas, only one will get a collection bonus. That is correct, yes.
Yeah, we found out the hard way with me. Thank God I didn't buy the Messi when I did. But so I wanted to actually go back to so you like cash over cards, Nep? Because I'm like, I still love the feeling of pulling a card and like that reveal versus just playing for cash.
I think from a purely like ROI perspective, you could buy what you want with cash, and that's it, rather than getting what you're given with cards.
Keith, I have some bad news for you, but Nep's always been a cash guy. Like it's always been about getting the return back.
I feel like I've as Laird showed me a couple of DMs and things like that, I feel like I've sufficiently spread my home team bias throughout the entire industry. So I'm just trying to spread my cash isn't real bias to everybody as well. Also, Peter just dropped the copy and pasted from yesterday, and I love it. Overestimation phenomenon. Right.
But Nep's got the receipts, man.
But also, like, if we're all like passive about it, how are you going to sell that to somebody who's not on the platform? Like, hey, come and join Sorare, but guess what? You're going to win absolutely nothing. They're going to be like, well, why would I ever do that?
So,
because you know what? You're fun.
You know what just occurred to me though? Like when you would like talk to people about Sorare, and I've heard a ton of people use this in the past. The Ponzi scheme aspect. I do think this legitimizes it. Like the fact 100%. Hey, by the way, those new cards that you said as part of Ponzi scheme, here's your cash.
Yeah.
So maybe that actually is a really good part in terms of just sharing. As you're not going to beat the game cash, not this whole get a certain point total and the store's just going to give you money. But hey, you beat other people and you play a skill based game and you can win cash.
I'm still pretty sure that there will be a general line of points required to win rewards that you can not predict, but within a margin, you'd be like, okay, look, if you're actually hitting 380 points in Premier League in season, you're probably getting that lower rung of rewards. So that's how you can then still quite beat the game, even though you're playing against other people.
Yeah, no, I think that's right. I want to touch on this because obviously you won in a single league competition. And GWOM says collections are so essential in a single league comp where you have limited choices. I'm actually going to focus on the other, how obviously collections help in any competition because it just means your cards score more points than they normally would have. But it does seem like they're more of an advantage. I was going to call it a cheat code, but it's not. It's just more of an advantage in these single league comps because the player pool is smaller, so you're going to see more lineup duplication, and collection bonus is where you separate yourself from people who have the same lineups.
Yeah, I agree. I like one of the reasons why I was more than happy to trade Donnarumma out is because even though he'll be good for in-season champ in 6 weeks, that will be up against 5 leagues worth of cards. And so with Edison, I can play him in Prem only, and it just it does give a massive advantage. I actually think on contenders, I still think collections are going to be super valuable because there's a lot of fractured leagues and fractured teams there. So having that 5% is going to be real important there. I think challengers where you're probably going to see it the least valuable and impactful because of how many teams and licensed leagues there are.
Yeah, but don't you think that the differential that you provide there is still
it's still worth it?
Challenger,
Yeah.
I'm coming at you guys with my 14% Messi, for a little bit. That's damn right, Laird. That was intended at you.
Have you not got coins?
No, I mean, you get these super cards and you use the collections to overpower them. When we're talking the majority of leaderboards, especially now that we're I don't know if I said this well before. We had Cap 220, Cap 240, Cap 270, Challenger Rare Plus. We had all these different places that you could spread these cards, and now you're condensing them down and going, hey, that Messi can play in Challenger. Obviously, for a little bit, we have All Star for a little bit longer, but in the new world, you go, hey, all those Messis are in Special Weekly, or they're in Challenger, and there's nowhere else. I think that differential, I think that widens. I think that actually is that much more important.
The place I think it will also be important, and this is a place where I think people are massively overlooking the changes. And I've seen a lot of grumbling about how tier 3s, 4s, 5s are going to be worthless. Who do you think is going to be in Division 5? It's not stars and tier 1s. So even if you have got a lower set of players that are, L15, 50s or 60s rather than 70s or 80s, you're going to be in the correct division with those. So you're still going to get that massive advantage for having that collection. And then it's a situation of if one person becomes far more popular or gets a prioritized transfer or something like that, all of a sudden their power goes up because they're now good for Division 1 or Division 2, which, as Sorare tried to claim, you want to be in those divisions, which means you're going to want those cards. So again, for collections, if somebody starts going off on a heater, they're going to become increasingly more valuable because the pool of stars is really small. So if somebody's going off or gets a transfer or something like that, you could have your $1 or $2 card be worth $10 or $20 just because of their form.
Robert Taylor last year in the Leagues Cup. Oh, stop, Laird. What? Why are you hating on my Miami collection? I'm pumping, baby.
Hardly hating. Do you think that that collections? Because I feel like we're not confusing collections and stacking, but but you were saying it's less important in contenders because there are just more. Is that what you said? That it's less in contenders and challengers, or is it the other way around?
I think it's less valuable in challengers than it is in contenders. Yeah,
but I feel like they're still very important because it gives you more bonus on your cards. But you're less likely to run a stack from that collection as you are in these single league competitions. So I still feel like they're still very important. And Scosmo kind of brought this up too. If they're removing scarcity bonuses, then your collection bonus becomes extremely powerful in these higher scarcities. Obviously, it's much more expensive to get like a super rare collection, but yeah, that's your way of getting your cards more powerful than other people's similar cards.
It's also a way to have, and this is something I haven't even thought about until right now. It's also a way to have multiple, like, for example, you could have new season Gabriel Jesus in limited in Prem season and rare Jesus in limited in Prem season with new season bonus and collection bonus. And it gives you, okay, maybe it's dumb to overpay like that, but giving yourself that edge again, like it could, on the weeks where it goes well, it could be humongous ROI.
Or let's just say that you're just one short and you love the lineup and you're just
just drop them down one. Yeah.
You just go like, this is the perfect matchup. And up here, he's not looking as good as my other ones. Then you just drop him down. Yeah, I think that makes some sense.
I want to flip to we'll focus on the Premier League comp because that's obviously where this all started. Agent Cooper said, I know you're an Arsenal fan, but I think the best strategy for the Premier League comp would be to run a Man City, Liverpool, and Arsenal stack every game week, meaning multi-enter and then have one of each. I think
you need to shut your goddamn mouth.
What's that?
I said he needs to shut his goddamn mouth. He's giving away I'm sitting here trying to build an Arsenal, City, and Liverpool stack for in-season Premier League, and he's just giving it away.
I mean, that's hardly a hot take.
No,
it's hardly a hot take.
No, this is a great take, but don't tell people.
Don't tell people to buy the best three teams.
Yeah, because they still believe in the old system because Capt is still there, right? So they still think that you can get away with like some trash Scottish League player, and you can't if you want to win. Laird's words, not mine.
What?
Like Josh and I, Josh XL's in the chat there. We've done some numbers and put some spreadsheets together, and yeah, and again, if you're not first, you're last. Why? Because collection bonus, XP, that power is important. So if anyone wants to sell me an old season Erling Haaland, let me know.
Is there? I'm thinking that the return on that strategy surely is the hardest. Like you're trying to recoup the maximum amount that you could spend to participate in this competition.
Yes, and that we kind of theorize about that. But once again, when they become old season cards, they still are relevant in new season. You can have one in each of each three lineups, and you can have them in the limited lineups in new season as well. If you've got like a Julian Alvarez, you could just put him in that limited lineup if you've already got Haaland in rare. But also you can win new season cards with them. So if you're running a Man City stack in the classic Prem comp and you're in Division 1 and you hit that first place, you get that threshold, even a podium, you get the podium cash, you get the loot boxes, you get like the star card that you'll get from the top. And as Josh says in the chat there as well, you can run them in champion comps as well. So I don't think like there's any bad thing right now about literally buying the best teams.
Well, also, Laird, on your point with you're spending the most money to recoup, I do think that the reality is obviously you're not going to, hit that top 1% outcome all that much, but the Liverpool, City, Arsenal stacks are gonna do like the min cash more often too than like, let's say your Burnley stack that you're just trying to go like that Yahtzee that one time. So run through the numbers. It's more money, but you're going to win more often as well. And then obviously, that top percentage outcomes are going to happen more often. Now, the trick I think is that you're going to have more competition up there too. So like the 1v1, because a lot of people are going to be on this. A lot of people already have Liverpool and City collections. So I think like the that you put in Foden as your extra, and the other person put in Rodri, and everything else is the same, and that goes from you would have been first place because you get a great collection bonus to you're in 27th because of that one move. Like I think that type of thing will happen a lot more as well.
That's
the
fair.
lineup that I put out in Premier League Limited, the guy, he had Haaland, which ended up not really making any real difference. But he actually had 2 cards with better XP than me. But his Raya it was like just a brand new purchase, so I had like significantly better XP there, and that was kind of what won me the situation. And what Mike says there, am I not already behind built Liverpool City collection through XP wise? 100%, yeah. But that's where you just got to play the game, isn't it? To get those boosts in when you can. You know, you can get 3 of them. Either you wait till level 17 and then apply the last ones because it's like the hardest to get, or you apply it straight away to get yourself an edge, like a 3%, 1.5% edge straight away by applying it. And then because those points compound the XP after that as well, like it can run up. And ultimately, eventually, with the old season cards specifically, everyone will have the same. Everyone will be level 20 with 5% collection bonus. And at that point, then it's going to be like your picks that make the biggest difference.
So I'm going to fight you on one thing. Not everybody's getting 5%.
Not everybody, but in theory, in theory, everyone.
I think it's a small percentage get there. So like to where you're going is that differential does make a big difference at that point.
Yeah.
I'll also add that the number of people who are just financially able to make Man City, Liverpool, and Arsenal collections is really small. Like realistically, in rare. I was going to say that your whole, like, if you have the rares, you can drop them down to limiteds. I think the problem with it is that there's more likely to be people in limiteds that have full collections. Right. There's no advantage to playing that card. It's just like you're filling the lineup. And so
like, the cool thing about that though too is, like, I'm just like to speak for myself with my Liverpool stuff that, I still have ways to go on the Liverpool rare, but I have a Van Dijk super rare, and just like certain weeks that he doesn't work out in the new world, in like Champion Super or something like that. It sucks to think about dropping that type of card down, but like in this situation where my Trent's now injured, that might make sense to go ahead and drop him down on a certain week like that. And again, I talked about it yesterday, but I think that flexibility to having that drop down is really nice. Like you don't want to buy a Virgil van Dijk super rare to play him 50% of the time in rare. That is not the advice.
Sure.
But, that 1 off, 2 off weeks where an injury happens and, everybody's selling. I don't know if your lineup is super good. I don't know if you want to go ahead and say, hey, Joe Gomez, let me just slide him in there. I feel good about that with my, rest of my team looking great. But I think just having that ability to drop down makes a lot of sense.
I agree. My Dennis Vavro, who got a fantastic goal on clearance in the 92nd minute last night against City, I have him at level 20 now, and he only has 1% XP because he is one off, and so he gets himself that 1% XP. But 11, with scarcity bonus in the Cap 240 at the moment, 31% bonus on 60 points is huge. But when scarcity bonus goes, 11% is going to be huge. Now, obviously, for me to price up a little bit more, there's actually a couple of super rares here for like £8 and £6 and such. So maybe it's not a bad idea to push them up to 2%. But I think where you're going to notice the best of all of the bonuses, like the scarcity bonus whilst it's still here, but the collection bonus and the XP bonus, I think you're going to notice it most with players that you put together that have synergy. Because like if you've just got 5 individual players that all hit like 90 to 100 points, it doesn't matter because you're not playing against somebody else with the same lineup. Like the collection bonus and XP at that point like loses value. It's like diminishing returns. It doesn't have no value. But if you've got 95 points and somebody's got Haaland on max like points on 88 points, you just don't care because you've already got the 95 points. You've already beaten his bonuses. So I think it has more value in those kind of like similarly expected lineups.
I don't see the difference of why I would, regardless of who the players are. If you have a player that scores 90 with a 14% bonus, and I have a player that scores 90 with a 12% bonus, you win.
No, but if we both have the same guy that scores 90, right?
No, it doesn't even matter if it's the same guy, it's just same score.
But it's irregular that people have the exact same score up in those upper echelons. People have like 60s, maybe in 70s quite regularly the same because they have no AA and just a couple of decisives. So you could have like maybe 30 players that have just 60 or 70. But once you get into those like higher score brackets that are going to be the podium scores, you know, like Onana's 80 something was just far more valuable, even if he had no XP or collection bonus, than David Raya 69.
That's fair. Yeah, I guess the thing that I keep coming back to is we emphasize the importance of collection bonus that makes our individual cards more powerful in the game. And yet it feels like we are putting an emphasis on the importance when those cards are played in stacks, when in reality it's just they're more valuable, or they're more powerful, excuse me, wherever they're played, even individually, because all you want is your raw number to be multiplied by a bigger number. That's it.
I do agree with that. And I think in like champ, challenger, and contender, that again, that will just have more impact. But I think in like Premier League specific, La Liga and Bundesliga specific, you're fighting for beating the best lineup. If you think you've got a winning lineup, you probably have like 20, 30, 40 other guys that have the identical lineup.
So isn't the strategy more of who's the differential to get in there?
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like that is where I think the differential is, though. I think the differential is in getting that XP first, getting that collection bonus first,
not player differential.
Well,
until everybody has the same collection, you know, everybody's at 15%.
Yeah, basically.
I was gonna say, I think you can argue too, like in that situation that you're bringing up, that everybody has the same stack, that being able to find the differential within your stack is that much more important too. Like,
yeah,
what was yours, Laird? Like remember the 270 way back when? Was it Auxerre?
Yeah, this is Ruben Diaz is the differential because he gets 0 anyway. Sorry.
Nathan Ake is your differential because nobody that owns a Nathan Ake ever feels that good about playing him. But I mean, you had the center back and 7 other people all chose this. You had 7 people chose the exact same stack in the exact same way. And I think even this exact same captain.
Yep.
Because, you know, it was the chalk. It was the chalk build versus, you know, you go RM, not, you know, like Arsenal. Would you say Saliba or Gabriel is more common than like playing a Ben White? Nep?
Yeah, definitely. Saliba and Gabriel, 100%.
You play a Ben White hoping for the assists that, you know, the center backs are less likely to get.
Yeah.
So maybe that's the actual differential, though, is going into this week. Well, no, but let's be real. Arsenal has Sheffield at home. Arsenal stacks are going to be incredibly popular.
Yeah, definitely. But I actually think the more you know about your own team or your own gallery and players, the better it becomes. Because like the guy who finished second in the in-season Prem comp went for Haaland at striker because Arsenal's forwards are terrible. Because Saka's not a forward, which he should be. Arsenal's forwards are terrible. So it makes like incredible sense to put like your best Arsenal, you know, Arsenal away to Burnley this week. It makes sense to put your best Arsenal 4 out and then try and have a figure out of like who's going to be that differential at striker. Who do you think is going to score some goals this week somewhere else? Because Martinelli probably isn't. Jesus is probably injured and Ketia won't start. Like you just don't, you can't rely on those. So maybe Haaland's not necessarily the one, but looking at other matchups, it's like, okay, what strikers like AAA this week that I can go and pick up? Don't worry about collection bonus. Don't worry about even new season bonus if you've got, like, you can get the old season version if you've got 4 current new season Arsenal cards. And that could be a massive differential at the top of the table.
It reminds me back when the best Ajax stack had Joshua Kimmich in it.
Yeah.
Like the Ajax midfielders have always been terrible. And so just find the better one.
So I'm going to go a little off topic, but it was brought up privately to both of us last night. But I think one thing I want to bring up that a lot of people are starting to do in these competitions and with collections is doing the whole, all right, I'm going to do an offensive stack of X team and a defensive stack of the other team, which I think is good in theory and super, super flawed in practice. What are your thoughts, Neb?
I looked at it myself a little bit actually, because like again, the cost of actually having like 4, 5, 6 teams at 5% is a stumbling block for some people anyway. But like you look at like any game week, you know, right? Who's at home to Luton? you want that goalkeeper and defender because you want that
Sheffield.
clean sheet. Is it Sheffield?
Luton's a baller. Luton.
Oh yeah, you don't really want. Yeah, who's at home to Sheffield? Yeah,
Sheffield United, by the way.
Yeah, not yeah. Who's at home to
I
Sheffield?
prefer Sheffield Wednesday. Actually, I'd much prefer to go up against.
They're going to be in League One soon. So
the reason why I think that's flawed is because if you've got anybody at home to them, first of all, if they do nab a goal, you're screwed because now you've just got a trash bag goalkeeper and defender. But also, like, I would presume that those goalkeeper and defenders aren't premium scorers, so you're probably looking at like literally 60 for the goalkeeper, and you know maybe still only like 50 to 60 for the defender, and those scores just won't cut it. It depends on like your priority, like if you want to just win a reward or win the tournament.
But how is that any different than having a 5-man stack and they concede?
Because you just take like priority, like I would take Ruben Diaz conceding 3 goals or Ake conceding 3 goals over like, I don't know, a West Ham defender conceding no goals, because I just know that those players are still going to get those offensive passing points, those long balls, potential assists. Like there's a lot more ability for them to gain points.
I think if there's a clean sheet, well, it doesn't matter. Those guys can score. Ederson has a 41.
Yeah.
Right. Ederson does not have a 41 if they conceded 3. Ederson has like
well, yes, if they concede 3, but even I just meant 1. Like we can, you're not finishing first without a clean sheet.
Right.
Yeah.
100%.
Well, I don't know, unless you've got Onana in goal.
Once. Yeah. All right, fair enough. You're highly unlikely.
Yeah. No,
sorry, Keith, go ahead.
Sorry, I was just gonna say on that topic, like, because I just see this like popular, like starting to like gain steam, you know, and somebody just put in chat they used to have like Argentina defense, MLS attack, and I think what people don't think too much about is when you finally do have that offensive stack in the perfect spot. Let's just assume that it's not a City offensive stack that's in a great spot 75% of the time. Let's say that it's West Ham or Sheffield United or whatever. You decided to kind of take a crap offensive stack or a crap defensive stack. The likelihood of those aligning on the right weeks just slim down. Unless you have the top teams. Like if you go, I like Liverpool's defense with City's attack or something like that, then they're going to cross over a lot more. But you know, I think a lot of people are trying to go, okay, I'm going to do Brighton's attack with West Ham defense type of thing, and just those matchups aligning where you want to just doesn't happen very often.
Yeah, it's like you could look at as well, like just premium scorers. You know, Trent's injured for a couple of weeks now, but Trent is always like a high scorer for a defender. You could take Rodri, you can take any other like midfielder. Forwards maybe a bit more tricky actually, because aside from his injury, Salah's probably one of the premium forwards. We wouldn't say Haaland really, is a bit too decisive heavy, but you could take those premium outfield players. But then who are you putting in goal? Because Trent can still score 80 or 90 points without a clean sheet.
Sure.
So like, and that's where again I think people are going to come unstuck with those sort of lineups, because you're looking for that jackpot on you know, you've used this terminology before, Laird, like you've got like a 5-man parlay, and it's like you need all 5 players to have good games in 5 individual games, and that is unlikely. Whereas if you put a full stack, and I think we will see it more and more and more over the coming months, a full stack. I've seen a Luton guy, I don't know if I shared it with you. He runs a Luton 5 every week in the Premier League competitions, and he's got a humongous ROI because they just do great. Yeah. But not often, you know, but often enough. And it's like, if you would have picked one player from that Luton team in your other team, you would have struggled massively. But when you've got them all together and they do keep that clean sheet, and your defender does assist your striker from a corner or vice versa, you end up putting up like 350, 400 points. And all of a sudden you've got a nice little reward waiting for you.
So first off, I did not come up with that 5 player parlay. That was actually Keith's friend Storm. So I happily take credit from now on. I'm not like, I get that. And I get how difficult it is to have this 5-player parlay. And I think we're confusing it between a 5-player parlay versus a 1 just single bet, because even if 5 players stack from the same team, you still need them to score a goal,
Yep.
and not concede. So at least it's 2 legs. And then you realistically need the decisives to get like high up. So let's say you have 3 attacking players, like there are more than 3 players that are potentially going to score a goal. Like I don't think it's as simple as like absolutely go for the stack because you just need one thing to happen. And my pushback is more, I don't know if stacks are more effective in this because I feel like all we see are stacks. And just because somebody, it's like you're not actually scoring as many points as you could, you're just scoring more than the other stacks. And if more people didn't stack, and I haven't looked at the numbers, so maybe fewer people are stacking than they are. But I'm just not convinced that stacking actually gives you like the highest possible outcome just because we've seen stacks get the highest possible outcome, if that makes sense.
I think as you were saying all that, I was like resonating, like like you were saying 1-0. I'm gonna use Arsenal and City for this, like where I'm gonna go here. Like 1-0 Arsenal, and you have Martinelli and Saka, and unless they combine, let's just say that you have Martinelli's forward, right?
Yeah, he's a forward. Yeah.
Okay. So let's say Martinelli forward.
It's so stupid that he's a forward and Saka's a midfielder.
Yeah, it's dumb,
I know. That's why I had to stop myself for this because I'm assuming that you probably have like Saka, Rice. Pick your defender: Gabriel, Saliba, Raya.
Yeah. Yep.
It's probably a pretty common one, right? Okay.
Yeah. Maybe
so
Odegaard over Rice, but yeah.
If they win 1-0, if Martinelli and Saka aren't the ones with decisives, let's say it's Rice off of a corner to your center back, which is great. Saka and Martinelli are probably capping in the 50s, low 60s from an AA perspective. Versus though, let's say you go to like a Man City, and the defenders normally people don't play Arsenal to play double center back. But you go to like City and you do the double defenders if you can get them right with Ederson, with Rodrigo, and they win 1-0. And now you just get the Haaland decisive as the forward. Now all of a sudden, like that lineup can crush on a 1-0. So I think there's just like teams you have to actually look at that can get that 1-0 out, because the more forwards and the more like decisive dependent players you put towards, the more you're needing that 6-0, 5-0 outcome.
Yeah.
Versus if you can find these teams with these massive AA spots that just ticky-taka the ball all over the place, like those are the ones that can, little Rivals reference there, but you can really rack up the AA though.
I'll just add the worst kept secret that there are 0 dominant Premier League forwards.
Yeah, I think Salah's the best.
Right.
And he's not even all that. Like, as somebody that owns 2, I don't feel all that great ever.
Yeah. Saka would be the best forward. Spot. I think that's why they didn't make him a forward, because I think he'd be broken. But he was like listed as a forward the whole of last season.
The whole time, yeah.
And so I don't understand how they've then come to the conclusion that he's a midfielder.
Does he have a National Series card?
I couldn't say. I don't know.
Did we get it?
That was a random reference I did not expect.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of positions of players who didn't have real Sorare cards had positions on their National Series cards, and that's what like shows on Sorare. And so if he was a forward on his National Series card, that's what would show.
Is that true, Pablo? He says Saka is a mid because Arsenal asked for it.
I heard that rumor.
Is that true? That would be wild if Arsenal requested him to be a midfielder.
James Johnson, some people in the chat answer this question, but in case people watching back and don't see it, are the Bundesliga and La Liga comps starting in March or August? They are starting in August, but Champion Europe cash competitions start in March.
Which sounds real close, but it's actually 6 weeks before it starts.
So far away.
Yeah.
Time is a damned mistress, man. I'm going to change the topic a little bit from Premier League just for a second. I think that collection stacks and things like that in Bundesliga and La Liga will be really profitable come next year. Because I think Prem is just always going to be where everybody looks first and catches the attention. And you could see like a little, just generalization. I think like a La Liga stack that's not Barcelona or Real Madrid might be really, really interesting. I'll
I
just
think
put that
the
way.
same
Like, if you
thing.
can find the next Girona type of team.
Yeah, the non-Bayern or Leverkusen collection.
Now, you have it in
Go
Premier League to a
Dortmund
degree.
right now. Like,
Yeah, Dortmund's a great shout. You do have it in the Premier League to a degree as well with Sheffield, but I always feel like Bundesliga and La Liga, their worst teams are
Are really
atrocious. Yeah,
They're really bad.
yeah.
But-
And so
but to
you can
your
take a
point,
mid-table team, and you're going to get like 5 or 6 games a season where you're like, okay, I expect like humongous returns during these game weeks.
Can I make a note on Malky's comment? I actually love that comment too, like as Athletic Club, because their players are like, they don't transfer a lot in and out because of their restrictions.
Yeah.
So you will have a little bit of, I don't want to call it certainty. Like Inaki Williams and like most other places, he's gone like forever. Yeah, Stuttgart was a great offensive team.
Yeah, somebody's already won a ton of money from Stuttgart.
Shout out Dennis Undev is greater than Samuel Garrissey.
How dare you? There was a question earlier, and I want to hear what you guys think on this. Ben Johnson, do you see any merit in using in-season cards in classic competitions for the extra 5% versus the competition?
Yes.
I have an answer for this, and I'll see what you think.
The first thing I will think is like most people that take Sorare seriously will have already 5% collection bonus for old season and more than 5% XP for old season. So you getting a new in-season card with 5% in-season bonus, you have to have 5% collection bonus and some XP as well to surpass the people that have got old season cards.
My thought was based on the price differences that we've seen. It's the equivalent of buying super rares to play the rare division.
Sure.
Like it doesn't seem worth.
But
it doesn't.
But
seem
if
worth
you're building, but if you're kind of like almost at drop down, if you're building over to get new season,
sure.
and then no problem with it.
Also, if you built your lineups and you've got like one new season card that you're like, well, he doesn't go in anywhere, let me just put him in here because he's better than the old season card I've got. Makes sense.
Or probably if your new season lineup is complete shit and you have your one guy that's an awesome play and you look at your old season, you're one away from an awesome lineup, I could very well justify saying, let me make my awesome lineup awesome.
See, but I think that depends on what division you're in. Because again, but
why does it matter? I mean, don't I want to progress up and win like if I'm in D4?
Because if you're in D4, you're like the bottom 30% of lineups. Okay, from the previous week, but the theory is like it would be similarly equivalent to what we get now. It's like 140 points.
I know,
which means the person that's winning D4, if you've even got one good card and then a couple of like, oh, this guy might not even start, might not get started, you're probably going to place high in D4, in my personal opinion. And that's why I think people are massively overlooking the bad cards.
See, I could be so far off on this, but I think there's just going to be so many cards in circulation and so much fluctuation within divisions that I don't think like this thought. I agree. Tier 3, Tier 4, Tier 5 cards are not dead. Like the lower divisions help it. But I don't think you're going to see this shit bag full of T3s and Tier 4s winning the lower divisions. I still think you're going to go down there and see like, oh man, look at that. There's Sho Suzuki. Oh, there's Carlsgill. Oh, there's a Messi down in D4. Like I think that's still going to happen.
How many lineups, the fact that we got multi-entry now as well, how many lineups do you think people will have where they can just have a Carlos Hill whilst they're in Division 4? Unless you're strategically playing for that, like you're looking at, like I don't even know how many lineups were in the Premier League thing now, but Carlos Hill is like a primary player to put in like the Challenger League, right? So Division 1 is going to be full of Carlos Hills. Yes. Division 2 will be full of Carlos Hills. Division 4 and 5, why are you using... And even if you are using Carlos Hill in Division 4 or 5, you're there for one game week.
Right,
which means your bad players that are always there are like all the good players and Tier 1s are going to get filtered up the divisions and all the crap's going to be left down below. So when your Motherwell stack or whatever pops off, you're winning Division 4. And you get a star, you get cash, you get the boxes. And then you to Division 3, right? Then you get relegated the next week, but it doesn't matter anyway because you was away to Celtic.
But let's just say, like, I have a pretty deep gallery, especially when it comes to Challenger in the summer. I get 3 lineups. It doesn't take me, and I'll have a lot of. It doesn't take me long before Carl's Gill is in the second or third because I just term for me because he's away and I immediately like took 50% off of him. I mean, I'm a sicko. We've established this, but like it's not taking me long to get there because I'm not using Carl's Gill in a rare pro lineup anymore because I just have rares and like I'm just like rattling off my head. Reynoso's in a god spot at home. Hector Herrera's at home. Doesn't even matter the god spot. They're all god at home for Hector Herrera. I have this completely, but like, Ricky Pooch. I have all these different midfielders. Lucho Acosta, like MLS is full of crazy mids. It's not like inconceivable that I have one tier I have one Division 3 or Division 4 lineup and Carlos Gills is down there with some really good players because I just have a deep gallery for that competition.
I believe that because you have a deep gallery, you will be in Division 1 and maybe the odd week in Division 2.
I like the thought of this. As I'm like, I'm definitely going to have a couple clunkers down in D4, D5. I mean, I'm doing well then if I'm all in D1,
And maybe I will be proven wrong as time goes on. We'll know more maybe in like 6 weeks when they open those, like the actual like divisions. But I genuinely think Division 5 is going to be like you might get a new player that bought a big stack or somebody that invested that takes control. But overall, I think Division 5 is going to be massively, massively low points.
That'd be interesting.
I think you're both right on this. I think that Division 5 will be filled with those types of cards, and we will never be in there. Like those tier 3 through 5 cards are worthless to us, like us 3 here, because we will not be competing there.
But this is why I'm so excited about So Rare now, because I genuinely believe you can come in on an extremely low budget and not farm, because I think that the farming like thresholds and stuff has gone now, or farming anything. But if you're good at the game, I think you can yield from Division 5 and Division 4, and especially if you've got 3 lineups. And you can like kind of rotate those depending on, okay, this one got relegated to D5 last week, and this is now, I've got a great squad to put in here. You can pick up those tier 3s and tier 2s regularly enough to actually build a gallery where, okay, now I can actually win some in Division 3. And then you carry on. And I actually think like for the first time, because you've also got Contender, it's like you can start a Contender, which in theory should be the cheapest cards. Like I don't think it will be, because I think the cash prizes are still going to push those up. But it should be the cheapest cards, and you can actually explain to somebody, maybe not somebody that's only like Premier League centric, but you could explain to somebody who's maybe a bit more of like just a fantasy player or in DFS or something. You can start at the bottom rung of limited, and you can genuinely move up. And if you do hit a jackpot, which is something I mentioned to you the other day, Laird, about there being no jackpot, and now because of the Mbappe's like £2,000. Actually, now there's a jackpot, because you can put $100 limited team and win $1,500, and that is humongous. And that's like that. Like for me, winning the cash this week, it's just like I feel alive in So Rare, because I'm like, I can buy things. I've got cash. I could do stuff. I'm not sitting there trying to trade like a Pedro Porro, and some breadcrumbs for a card that I want. I'm actually just being like, yeah, let me go and buy it. And so I think people now will look at that and like even if you spend a Luton collection, if you spend like 40 or 50 quid on a team and you win 10 quid a couple of times, that's progression, because now you can use that £20 to buy a better player, or similar to like what I had anticipated with collections in the first place, of like you use the collections to farm, to build more collections and start snowballing. I think it's still possible.
I think you can make the argument that you can generate enough cash from your Luton 2023-24 and hold it to buy your 2024-25 Luton collection.
Indeed.
But that requires sitting on cash, and what the hell does that mean? A few people in chat are talking about like considering tanking to get into lower divisions, and I get it. But, and I said this on another show, like I think it was Guy who said on the Sorare Ramble, like the rewards are going to be set up so you don't want to do that. Like it will be very clear that you want to be in the highest division you can compete in. And so I'm sure some people will still do it, but I don't know. We'll see. I'm curious, like, what happens if I play everything and then decide one week I'm going to play in the Premier League, and like, do I go into Division 5? Like, you would think so if I've never played it, but I don't actually know yet.
That is interesting.
By the way, I don't know if you guys saw my soul leaving my body when somebody in chat said, spoiler, Emmanuel Reynoso is in Argentina.
I thought there was pictures that
he got hurt. He got hurt in the preseason, but I haven't seen anything else. But if we wind back the tape, that comment comes in.
I mean,
we're used to it.
Come to the territory, man. You bought into that card. You know,
but you go the Emmanuel Reynoso roller coaster is nobody knows where he is. Is he in prison? Is he back somewhere else? Where is he? And then you just go.
Now, do you think that there's
going
to be a boom in reward box content?
I do think there will be. I hope reward boxes are good. Josh and I were looking on Sorare Data last night at reward boxes, like that 4 or 5 week period where they did the Cap 270 thing, and the people that won the best prizes were regularly like 6,000th in the tournament, or like 2,000, and I think that's brilliant. Yeah.
But
so I love
the new
boxes.
world. But that shouldn't be the case in the new world.
No, like you would expect more consistency of like the elite boxes giving the players and whatnot. But yeah, like, can you imagine like you filled 3 lineups in Prem, Bundes, La Liga, Champ, Challenger, Contender? You got 18 lineups, right? If like, let's say 6 of them win 2 or 3 loot boxes, you're going to be coming away with like 15 or 20 loot boxes for a reward. And that's like, listen, if you open them and you get some cards, oh my God, and Mbappe pops out, you'd be elated, wouldn't you?
But the counter to that, and where we can't see it, is that you have your week and you open your loot box and you get a Santi Cazorla. Like, we riot.
Do not.
No, we're happy with that.
Do not speak poorly of Santi Cazorla.
The other thing that I know people don't want to win SO coins in loot boxes, but those XP boosts are expensive, right? And XP has value in SO5, so even winning coins, it's not that bad. Like, you can put it to good use. You can still use it to improve your game.
We have to be able to like understand the expectations of these loot boxes, though, because they're wanting us to be excited about the loot boxes, and if we podium and the loot boxes, here's 1,000 coins, like, that's going to go poorly real quick.
Yeah.
So they can educate people as much as they want on probabilities. They're not going to get it.
But so do you think that it should be the true random nature? Do you think you should get first and you should get 3 arena tickets?
I think you're confusing Rivals reward boxes with pro reward boxes.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, I think there's a lot of pressure on these pro reward boxes to actually be good.
Yeah.
Well, they're also additional, though. So like, it's not like you're missing out on a star after finishing first because you open a loot box and won 1,000 coins. Like, it's just like, you also won this. And
But I mean, again, though, like, when you get it at the top and they're literally including that as part of like the prize, so to speak, in your head, I think there needs to be like a floor of like relevancy of the box. Again,
did they break down what
I think there's a little bit of a breakdown of it.
But they said like it's like cards, limiteds and rares. Like, so you get a star.
Yeah, like, so like first place gets Santi Cazorla. Like,
yeah, but what they didn't say, which is what I think is going to be, they said it in the FAQ, which they like hid and tucked away in the corner. Like, you are going to also have SO coins and jerseys in there as well.
Oh, okay.
It's like, okay, you didn't put that on the thing, but with this new, did you see the news today from Sorare about like that coin, the coin thing that's coming? Like, I wonder if we'll see that. Yeah. I wonder if we'll see that in boxes.
Ugh, that's
and that's
I'm out.
Yeah, exactly that, right? Like boxes could be good, but I do feel like they're divvying out a lot of boxes across a lot of divisions, and so if there's a heavy weight on cards, are we not just going to be in the same situation that we've been in because there's just way too much supply of cards and not enough demand for them, and it just drives the prices down? But if it's just like so coins that you're mostly winning, are people really going to be caring about trying to like move up the divisions for a box to get like 20,000 so coins instead of 10,000? Or
But I don't think they're moving up for better boxes. They're moving up because the reward, like the card rewards, are better, and the box. Like I think the boxes will mostly not be cards because there's not enough cards to give away. I mean,
which
guess
I
there are
think is
tons of rumors,
really very much okay, as long as you can.
I agree.
Mix in the like Nep said, like I'm very okay doing well and winning, like let's say 100,000 coins that I can then go use for boosts or something like that. I can see like direct correlation to going okay, but like again, I just think that there's Sean said this to me probably like a week ago, and I thought it was pretty right that there is a lot of pressure on the boxes to like not completely fall flat.
They could give out one card in 10,000 boxes, and we find out what the card is, the great card, and everyone's like, "Oh shit, you can." He act like the Veerman one.
Right.
They may have given away one, and
Right.
we all saw it, and we're like, "Let's go!" And you open yours, and you're like, "Oh man, only got coins." But next time, I might be able to win Veerman because I know that guy who won Veerman. Like they really, I hate to say this out loud, but they really don't have to give away that many as long as we find out when
as long as we know
what they gave away.
The one Mbappe rare goes out in a box, and we're all like, "Give me a damn box."
It's all worth it. What do I do for boxes that I could win an Mbappe for finishing 958th in Division 3?
But do you think though that the boxes for high finishes and high divisions need to have some sort of floor? Or do you think that just keep that random element?
they did have a floor. It was like
Right.
star to tier 3 limited or tier 2 to tier 4 rare.
Did it
and
say
then
the
division
cards
below.
in there? Apologies if I'm talking about something that they actually spelled out.
Yeah, they have basically spelled it out. Yeah.
So like the elite box says contains stars to tier 3s.
And then tier 2 to tier
and
5
tier
rares.
2 to tier 5 rares.
Right. So
which everybody also ignores that like you can actually win cards up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. But if first over and over again just keeps getting T5s.
Or like nothing. Like
well, they can't first won't get a tier 5.
Tier 5
they'll get a tier 5 rare.
Contains and additional. So you get like 1 star. Okay. That and sign is very important.
No, I don't believe you will win 2 cards in a box.
I think
if you finish first in Division 1, you win a star limit. This is limited. You win a star limited and cash and the opportunity to win another star through tier 3 limited or tier 2 to tier 5 rare.
Hold on. You just said or for an and.
The box contains limited cards and rare cards. Like
I think that's like a misstep on their part because I see what Keith's saying. It's like it contains stars to tier 3
because look,
tier 2 to tier,
look D2. Look in D2. Premium box contains stars to D5 versus this one. Elite boxes contain stars to tier 3 and tier 2 to tier 5.
Rare cards.
Rare cards, yeah.
Yeah.
I think
so. They're saying a limited.
It could be worded better, but it's
yeah. I think that.
But here's the other thing I think people are like missing out. Why
this was also true that an elite box also could not have a card in it.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely. Yeah, because it could have coins or
and that's what I guess that was like the mention that I had about a little bit of pressure on it because you have these expectations like, oh, I got Donnarumma. I didn't really want that. I got my cash, cool. I still got this box to open.
Here's what's interesting though, especially with how many lineups people are going to be putting in. I don't know how many, like we can't really use in season as an example, but I don't know how many people. There was like 3,500 lineups in season. The top 10% are in Division 1, so there's like 350 lineups. The top 5% of Division 1 get 3 star boxes, so you don't even necessarily have to podium to get a chance at a star. 3 chances at a star. Like, okay, it's going to be a real limited number of people. It might only be like the top 20 people that still get those 3 boxes, but if you just miss out, if you just miss out, you can still get 3 star boxes, and that's amazing.
Right.
Yeah. So then, yes, that's why you want to be in Division 1.
Yeah.
Sorry, there was another comment, and I have since lost it. Ooh, I like this. Mickey Fu said, honestly, no one should have expectations with the boxes. Then we're back to Sorare entitlement. I miss Sorare entitlement. Just kidding.
Where's my boat?
Where was the... So I think they actually should have just written on the graphic, like elite boxes contain. Because it does sound like each box singular.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is so rare. They're not giving everyone stars and tier 2 rares.
Right.
But,
Yeah.
but they did make it appear.
We need to pray the Mbappe guy takes a screenshot and puts it on Twitter.
That'll be me. I'll win it. Don't worry. I'll show you.
Yeah, I was going to say, we'll have a whole stream.
And then the conspiracy. Of course, Nep won the Mbappe. He's an influencer.
Yeah. Although my first place prizes for cards have generally been tragic. So.
You already got rid of yours.
Yeah, well, that was second,
week.
But yeah. Forever the second place finisher, me.
Rob said, has anyone won a card out of a Rivals box yet? Keith did. I won one too.
Two.
You've won 2?
2 cards.
I can't even win 2 games.
I mean, Nep, let's just put it this way. One was donated. One was Santi Cazorla. That was me realizing that he was still playing. I had no clue. The other was actually half decent. I really wanted tickets at the time, but I got an Areola.
Okay. Damn, that's all right, isn't it?
Not bad.
And he just gave away a new season Prem card. Just
no. I sold him. I gave away Santi.
Fair enough.
That's all right. I struggle. Like, I don't struggle to win the games. I struggle to be patient with the games. I'm like, right, there's like 11 games kicking off in 6 minutes. Let me just go into 11 arena games at once and just hope that it all comes together. Yeah.
Well, then, you know what the funniest thing about that, Nep, too, layered to see.
I know where you're going with this.
It matters when the game ends.
Oh, does it? Is that the way it
calculates your wins? Literally stacks like your game that you were gonna win, that would have put you on like 3. I guess it all matters at 3 in a row. Your 3 in a row gets 15 minutes of stoppage time, and the game that you lost gets called.
That's annoying.
It's so awful. I've stopped playing multiple games at the same time for that specific reason. Even if I think I'm clearly winning, I'm like, I'm not even going to put myself.
Is it 3 every time?
You get a box every 3.
That's it.
Every 3 now.
Sean hit 9 over the weekend. It was just every 3.
I'm on 2 out of 3 win. Jesus.
Let's go.
What games are about to kick off? Like,
yeah.
So we're about to. So I just want to say this though too. The missions are actually really fun. For seconds.
Oh, I forgot what I didn't look for what mine were today.
I did like short after I woke up, and it's like one was have a player score 100, or over 100, and I looked. I'm like, oh, Rangers are minus 1300 at home, so there's my target for who to get. But I don't know. They're late. It would have been awesome to have these missions when we were like all rivals crazy, but you know they're still fun.
Here's what I think you should do, Keith. You should store like 10 rivals reward boxes, and then like when you've got 10, next like podcast, you rip them on the podcast.
Can you actually wait on them? Is it like
a pack
boost
opening
where you can
store I don't actually know. I haven't won one, so
I was gonna say winning 6 in a row is insane. So I don't think this is right. Rob is saying it's every 3 wins now, not consecutive, even though that's what it says.
It's 3 in a row.
I don't know.
I don't know because I'm on 2 out of 3, and I could promise you I have not won 2 in a row.
It literally says arena win streaks. Win 3 consecutive arena matches.
Yep. Rob says even though that's what it says,
I just lost last night by 1 pass, and I'm on 0. Even though I won right before then, not on a streak.
How do you see your right?
It's very easy, Nep. You just go lobby, rivals, mission. Oh no, that's actually all it is.
Yeah, see, I literally lost my last game, Brighton against Palace, and yeah, I'm on 2 wins out of 3.
Huh.
And the game before that, I lost Hearts against Dundee, so I've literally lost my last 2 games.
Interesting.
My daily missions are win with a sub and less than 20-point difference.
Those are tough.
So stupid.
But for 2 rep points though, Led, come on. That's good stuff. That is.
I'll just win. Rob said the wording is a lie.
I mean, I think we established with the boxes the words are tough with Sorare these days.
You're only going to win one more arena ticket anyway. I'm up to 71, by the way.
Hold on. There's the end from Josh Excel's comment. There's the close.
Well,
I'm so bad at rivals are rewarding him for 3 losses, 3 consecutive losses.
on the flip side, though, I do have 173,200 SO coins.
You are going to be doing some boosting.
That's it?
Yeah, I'm looking at those boosts now.
So Nep, you might not know this. You remember they did the Black Friday
the boosts? Yeah, I bought them all. Yeah.
Laird's shaking his head because he's a moron. Sorry to.
I forgot.
Full Sean right there, but you are on this.
No. I just forgot. We talked about it. I was going to do it. I just
literally.
forgot.
I was like, "Hey, there's only a little bit of time left. I'm buying all mine." But so you can. They're still in my inventory. I'm just waiting until like the day before the day before the season to see where my Messi is at and just boosting. You can only use 3 per player, but I'm waiting to the last minute to use it and then boosting Messi up, and I'll figure out what I want to use for like the super rares and stuff. But that's a fun part. If they ever go on sale and you have coins, just buy them up and stash them until you need it.
Do you think watching Keith boost his Messi would be as exciting as watching him open 10 reward boxes?
No, I don't. Do you know what they could do in reward boxes though? Maybe it gives too much of a competitive advantage. Maybe it doesn't. But instead of allowing just like 3 boosts, be like allow like an extra boost to a player, like where you can boost them by a level without it counting towards the 3 that you'd give them. Things like that, like. But then then maybe it becomes a bit too much like pay to win. Like you're getting
gaming.
Yeah, gaming.
Too gamey. The game becomes too gamey.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, potentially.
Heaven forbid we gamify this game. I didn't expect us to end up on Rivals today. Not gonna lie. Nep, do you feel like personally attacked that collection bonuses don't apply in Rivals?
What I don't like about Rivals has a lot of potential. It's not for us, Rivals, right? They got new users to convert, and I wouldn't be surprised if they somehow eventually found a way to be like, look, if you've got a rare card in your gallery, you're ineligible for Rivals because they don't want people like Keith dominating the Rivals divisions, taking all those reward boxes. They want some brand new guy to the site to win an Areola and be like, whoa, what the hell? I could either sell this or, hey, actually, let me just go and buy a couple more. And now I'm in the paid leagues, right? That's what they want.
I agree with that.
First thing I didn't like is that I don't want to use my cards. I wanted to use the common cards of my cards because I don't want to play against other people with cards, right? And I'm in the UK, so this still applies to me. Like, just give me the limited. So give me the commons. I don't care about like the rest of them. So the incentive to actually buy a card is non-existent. But the fact that collection bonus doesn't apply, yeah, man, when you can get like 40 points because your player like passed the ball loads, like give me my 5% for having lots of the cards.
Sure.
Yeah.
Kev Hurd just brought up something that I am going to show everyone, which this seems like a terrible time to bring this up, but here we are. On the Sorare Data lineup builder now, for Cap 240, I'm just going to do a quick suggestion. We now give you what we think is the percentage that you will hit each threshold target.
So you are definitely going for 390 there, Laird.
7%? Yeah. 7% is basically 100%.
I also, for anybody that doesn't know, the Bruto just being shown your 240 just makes me laugh inside, right?
Can I ask a question? How do you arrive at like 118%?
Well, because it would be
because if you hit 270, like
you also
anything like 340 is included in this 70.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Also, I haven't done this in a long time, so can I ask for a feature request? Not even a feature request, more of a refinement. If you
hold on, let me get my notepad out.
You won't need to. If you go to the Premier League competition, please, on the lineup builder.
Yeah. Are you asking for multi-entry?
Nope. Oh, I mean, yes, but that wasn't the thing.
Okay.
And then suggest you don't have any cards. Can you go to one where you've got some cards for, please?
I have one.
Yeah, this is actually perfect. So yeah, do the rare for me, because I've actually got a really good.
Oh, I can't
in-season rare.
suggest.
Basically, when you suggest a lineup, it doesn't take into consideration that you need 4 new season cards in there.
Gotcha.
Well aware. We're working on it.
Okay, perfect. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great. Love that.
Yeah.
Can we a little discussion point for you both, based on what Charlie says there? If you think your lineup in Threshold can hit like the max thing, just put it in All-Star, right?
Yeah.
Surely, right?
I saw you say that on your video. By the way, Nep is back on doing Sorare content as of
indeed.
yesterday. I did see you say that, and I'm not convinced yet that should just go in All-Star.
Well, I mean,
because you're fundamentally still just around the 240 mark.
The downside is 0, though, if it doesn't hit that mark.
Well, that for sure. But I'm just saying, like, that doesn't mean it's a great All-Star. It just means it's really good within the cap 240.
Well, no, but you're giving it percentages of a certain score based on their expected.
Sure. But I'm just saying you might have other cards that would actually be projected to score more than that.
Right.
And now you're using that entry on those cards.
Do you think if you had the 5 best matchups, like the 5 best AAAs in 240, that the percent of hitting the top score would be like 30 or 40%, or do you think it like is always just going to top out at like 9, 10?
I don't think it would get that high. No.
Because if it did, that could be a good way to like game the threshold for a little while, couldn't it? Like just whilst you can.
Zeros are going to definitely skew. Like
if they're going to score a lot, though, like getting the 0, you still need the 0 to score a lot.
But like Andy Black with his Ethan Horvath rainbow all over all the thresholds is going to.
So the reason it doesn't work though is because when you have an L15 of 0 and he scores 16, it's not helping you get to the high.
But imagine having 2
shots
zeros.
Fired.
Imagine having
shots
2
fired
zeros
on
there,
Ethan.
right?
The 2 zeros is like when Neymar comes back, like that's different.
So you put in
Ethan
like
Horvath.
Ruben Diaz, Rodri, and
no, get out of here with your Ruben Diaz.
And then you have 2 zeros in there, and you're just winning loads of money.
I'm just telling you right now that you are going to message Keith and I at some point and just being like, why is Ruben Diaz out? Or just like, how come he's not starting? Or
why does Ruben Diaz hate me? Why is he new? Like, hold on. He got 24 Sheffield at home. What the hell? How is that even possible?
It's the worst card on the platform.
I mean, it's just not.
Hey, Nep, I have a jersey mint in season. I will take price paid for it.
He's got exactly the card you want, Nep.
Yeah, but what did you pay like 3 ETH or something? Like,
oh my, no.
It doesn't matter today, Nep. Like, sorry, dude. Why do you need this?
Yeah, that looks like a horrible card. You just don't want people to have him because he's so good, right?
Nep, the problem is all those reds and oranges are when you needed him the most. And then the greens are when you
home against Burnley bench.
Him.
So the thing with City, like I know there's Pep Roulette and whatever, but you can kind of like it was obvious he wasn't going to play against Zvezda, right? They don't like that's a free hit. You're not putting him in there.
Yeah, but Burnley, hold on, Nep, Burnley at home after like a month break.
Why did he score 29 points away to Luton?
Because he sucks.
Where's that game?
Didn't start home against Sheffield United and didn't start against Burnley. Why do we want this card?
Because home to Crystal Palace, he scored 93 points.
Congrats. You had downgraded him to cap 220 because he burned you so damn often.
Listen, process over results, right?
No, process.
No. This is the process right here. Do not buy that card.
No, the process is if you have him in every single game week with your other big City players in the stack, those weeks where he pops off, you're just banking. And I know for a fact that the 5 City players that I would have had, including Ruben Dias, would have won one of the Premier League in season tournaments.
Maybe one.
And that's enough.
I love this advice. Play him with Doku. Go nuts.
Anyway. But this is why you need multi lineups, right? you have one lineup with
Just to
Edison
make
and
sure
Ake,
one of your Man City ones
one
is
with
dead.
Edison
Yeah.
and Diaz, and then the other guy, and then you're like, look, I know one of them's gonna win.
I'm actually fully convinced that multi-Man City lineups will be DNPs everywhere. Like there will be no lineups around.
It's a terrible strategy. Absolutely terrible.
You're like, oh well, I've got DNP, Ruben Diaz in lineup
Can I
one. I've
be
got
honest
DNP
with you?
Haaland
Like,
in lineup two.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's why Rodri is so important because that guy just plays.
For now, right?
No,
until
no,
he's
no.
not, right? Until Kovacic is back and he's like, right, we need to get some minutes into his legs. So
not to mention, I don't know if anybody else feels it. When you actually watch City, and you just see him running around bossing a game with his shirt tucked in, it's extra satisfying. There was a game I watched, it was untucked for 30 minutes. I was in one of our chats just being like, tuck your shirt in. Like I can't pull you apart with your shirt untucked.
Just don't do it now.
Doing away to it. I'm going to, and
I know you are.
keep it up because you're just driving his price down, which is great. But I will ask again, like, there's almost 200 people here watching. This is great. Does anybody have an old season Haaland they want to sell me for a reasonable old season price?
How much does he cost now?
Well, his last, like, it's very different. Like the difficulty of like the change is like old season cards don't really have more value now, but they also kind of do a little bit because you can still field one in like a new season lineup. And Haaland has recently been selling for like £750, £800. And then his new season card is like £1,200, £1,300, which makes all the sense in the world. And it's kind of following the trends of all of the new season players. But nobody wants, all three old season Haalands are listed up for like £1,300. Like, I'm like, did you not get the memo? Like, old season shit, give me him for cheap. New season's the one, right? Like, nobody's paying new season price for old season Haaland.
It's been 2 weeks since an old season sold, though.
Yeah.
I think the problem is that too many people realize that he's the old season that everybody wants.
Yeah.
And so it actually doesn't even matter.
Yeah, but it's been 2 weeks since his old season sold because no one's buying them. So list him up at a reasonable price and you'll get a sale, right?
Maybe. Thank you, everybody, for joining. If you could please subscribe. Oh, what happened now?
Just ruined my day, hasn't he? Hitrauder is out.
Oh, yeah.
I'm projected
this weekend
second.
too, I think, right?
I'm projected second in under 23 rare, and that's not going to happen now, is it?
You and Keith, both with your projected finishes. You guys.
I'm projected second, and I've only got 2 players left, and one of them's Hitrauder. So now I'm not going to get a reward, am I?
No.
And on that note,
yeah, go buy Ruben Diaz and make yourself feel better. Thank you, everybody, for joining. If you can please like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Shout out to Quinny. Glad that we're back. Nep is back.
We're back.
That's all. That's what I'm taking out of this. So thank you, everybody, and maybe we'll see you next week. We'll see. Thanks, everyone.